BMW N57 diesel 3 litres in the 5 Series, the X5, whole host of engines, whole host of models this engine is fitted to. It is the LCI or the update later version that's fitted in the E70 LCIs, mainly what I see them in. So yeah, this is the EGR valve out of that engine. I'm seeing a large amount of issues with these, with either cars that won't start or cars that have EGR differences basically in the amount of EGR gases that should be flowing through compared to the metered amount against what is actually requested. And I'm finding a lot of EGR valves jamming up or sticking closed, sticking open. I'll show you what I found. So basically, in situ you can only see this half of the EGR valve is located on the front of the engine. We'll attach a picture of what it looks like in situ. You can take this cover off in situ and see the actual insides with the positioner, etc. And that's what we're actually wanting to look at to diagnose. So we can actually run a actuation through our scan tool. We use ISTA. You can use a variety of scan tools that are capable of doing output tests on stuff. So what we're doing is we'll output test the EGR valves, and they're operating, and then they do this. They get stuck. So this is actually getting stuck. And if we look at the position of where the EGR valve is, it sticks in this position. It's open. So yeah, sticking in this position. As you can see, it's not wanting to return. I'm actually going to have to force that to get it to return. There we go. So in this position, it's closed. You can't see. This is the valve itself, and as we actuate this, and it's stuck now. This is jammed. This is a defective unit, so it is actually jammed, and it's jammed in the open position. So as you can see, you're trying to start the car and it's jammed in this position. The car either will struggle to start, or it will start and run rough, because it's drawing in through exhaust gases when it wants to be drawing, well, it doesn't want to be drawing it through. Basically, it's uncontrolled, it's unmetered. The motor is commanding, being commanded by the ECU to put out a certain position of this, and it's measuring its potentiometer, and the two basically aren't matching. The actual position is different. The actual position isn't matching what the specified is, so the ECU is getting a complete different reading. It's getting a different amount of air that's being drawn through the airflow meter, because there's EGR gases going in and being drawn into the engine instead of fresh air. And we're also getting a potentiometer problem with this actually not changing its potentiometer position. And what we actually are seeing is slight wear. Sometimes we see on here. It could also be inside of this actual wheel here, but yeah, we're replacing a fair few of them recently for this issue. So yeah, it's something not to overlook. If there is EGR codes in N57, you can see there's a slight ramp that builds up. I don't know if that's a wear point. Yeah, so that's straight away. Every time it operates, it should return. It's got a return spring. As soon as we get to that point, it now won't return until I push it to return. And that, when it's pushed all the way, it's quite difficult for it to return. So yeah, N57, BMW, EGR valves sticking in the open position. So yeah, they'll can give you no start problems on these diesel engines. Too much EGR, and you can just pop this cap off. Just 2 tabs. You can just lift with a screwdriver, unclips, and you can access and actually visually see the inside workings. Well, not the workings, but you can see the position of the rod itself. So that just sits on there, and you're just basically coming in and popping these off like that. It's not going to cause any damage if it find out it is working correctly. It's just something to confirm. So I've had good luck testing like this, and you don't have to then remove the unit from the car. You can see either the vehicle doesn't start or the EGR values don't match. You push down on that rod and release it, and then all of a sudden the car will start, or your EGR values that were out of spec now start moving and start reading correctly until it jams up again. So yeah, there we go. And as you can see, there is coolant that is actually running through this EGR valve.